sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin'.
Sippin', I'm 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 sippin'.
This is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Get your fucking life together. And it's some quarantine edition shit, COVID-19. By now, everybody's going through it. Everybody's been affected. Everybody's been uncomfortable. I wish all of y'all the best. I want y'all to check on each other. I hope that y'all check on everybody that has to go to work, that's out here dealing with the public, helping the people, especially our medical and first responders. We love y'all, appreciate y'all. Y'all are undervalued drastically. Shout out to the teachers. But I just wanted to shoot a little intro real quick because I'm putting up an episode from my little homie Bookworm that we actually shot before this epidemic, pandemic, whatever the fuck they calling it, affected us the way it did. And I think the responsible thing to do would be to let y'all know that this was shot before all of this. So that, because we shot it at the fire, shout out to the fire, that's a bar. So I don't want y'all to think like that's cool or we supporting that or whatever. But shout out to the homie Bookworm. Salute to Chris Cotton, man. Love you, bro. Rest in peace. We miss you. And salute to my co-host, Saf, always holding it fucking down. Sunny Brick, man, she was there with us. We had a great conversation. Hope that y'all get to learn a little bit more about this up-and-coming star. Humble young man and a family man at that. So he's somebody I think y'all should support and somebody that I think y'all appreciate. One thing I want to say before I get the fuck out of here is two things. One, I'm still smoking and drinking, as usual. I don't play that shit. Second thing was, we're going to keep providing y'all content. We have the means to do so. We have the capabilities to do so. So stay tuned. Rock with us. There'll be way more trippings coming out. We got a bunch of shit stacked up. A lot of sipping episodes. We can film from where we're at. We got multiple ways to film where we're at. So we're not gonna run away from y'all. We're not gonna disappear. We're gonna get through this together. Comment, reach out to the people that's a part of this at Flyboy Friday Radio, at On the Scene Magazine, at Font Philly, at Sippin' with Sammie on Instagram. DM us, let us know what y'all got going on. Let us know what we need to support. We'll get the word out. We'll help you promote it. If it's going to help people through these times, we have no problem with that at all. So make sure you reach out to us for that because we are a community, especially there's creatives in the hip-hop community. So I'm rocking with y'all. Hopefully y'all doing the best y'all can for y'all folks. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay the fuck away from people. And let's keep it going, man. 2020 is not over. We're going to make the best out of it either way or another. But this is the Bookworm episode. Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. Sip with me, get your life together. One of them. This is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Get your fucking life together. And we at the fire. And I brought South with me.
And I'm in the building. Yo, yo.
And we got the homie Bookworm.
You're sipping with Sammie.
As you should, man. As thou should. But never really got to holler at South about Bookworm in detail. So y'all gonna learn together.
Let's go.
Bookworm was introduced to me a few years back at a comedy show by the homie Chris Cotton. Rest in peace, Chris Cotton.
Rest in peace, Chris.
And I'm literally chopping it. I saw Chris. I'm moving around. I'm talking to somebody else. And Chris like, let me talk to you. Come here. And I go outside, and he had Bookworm with him. And I'm like, who's this kid? Because this was a few years ago. And I'm like, who is this kid? And he made Bookworm rap for me.
Okay.
And Bookworm, without hesitation, started rapping. Now, the thing is, people rap for me all the time, especially like live. Like, I get that. But he was rapping in this pattern and this cadence I never heard it before.
Okay.
It sounded like a snare drum. It was like...
Wow.
And he could do that for like a while. I'm like, how's he breathing?
Right.
I gave him some bars back because I felt like he deserved some. And ever since then, I just been bumping into him, and it's been all love. And Chris has kept me abreast on his progress. And then we did the festival together last summer.
Oh, okay.
And he actually opened up the festival and killed it.
That was a good job.
Did his thing. But like that's how I know.
It was a good joint. Sorry.
And I said to Bookworm when I met him, when I said about your cadence, I said, "You play the drums?"
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
I played the snare specifically too.
I remember you telling me about him. Actually, that's
See?
funny that you said that because I
that's what this
remembered
is.
you telling me about that. That was really interesting. That's
But
dope.
it literally sounded like a snare when he was rapping. It was
Right.
And you know how like K Dot hits certain pockets?
Right,
And he
right.
could do that dot shit too.
Right.
But it's like it's a snare specifically. Like I remember drill teams and step teams. I just always remember that sound. And I'm like, that's the only time I ever heard somebody do that vocally. But
that's interesting.
That's one of his skill sets.
That is very interesting because I didn't know I'd do that.
You really literally do that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that like, I sound like the snare specifically. I know Chris had told me previously. He said because he was trying to break me out of that specific thing. So he was like, try to rhyme with the other instruments because you rhyme with the snare every time. And I was like, I didn't know I'd do that.
He's right into his drum.
Yeah, right into my drum. So it just fits. But it makes it much easier, when I go in a live band and they don't know my instrumentals, they just make up something. So boom, I just go with the snare. So
right.
But see, you already trained for that. Your ear is built for that already. But I mean, I think that's where everybody gets their originality from when it comes to cadence, when it comes to flow and delivery. A lot of the times it comes from the fact that if we all listening to the same beat, we might write to a different part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we'll have the same sections to write to, but we'll write to a different element. Element of it, I should say, would be more clear. Right. And then when we decide to challenge ourselves, we try to write to the other one.
Other instrument, right? Yo, what?
So that's dope that you said that. Chris was on point with that, but it opened you up. And speak to that, man. How did you meet the great Chris Cotton, man?
And so I actually met him from Russ. So Russ was like, yo, my brother-in-law, he doing a cypher, he looking for rappers and this and that and this and that. So he had introduced me or whatnot. So it went from like probably 20 rappers he was dealing with. We did the cypher in front of a barbershop. Yeah, we did the cypher in front of a barbershop or whatnot. We did that, boom. So he said he had took the tape to a couple of his friends and he had played it for him, and they always pointed me out or whatnot. It was like, this young boy, like he not the best one, but he got some or whatnot. And these Chris words to me or whatnot. So moving forward to that. I remember going from the Cypher John to going on tour with him or whatnot, doing the Philly tour or whatnot, the comedy show thing. So that went from me, Deuce the God, and Will, the Bull Will or whatnot. So that went from 3. And then we started performing at the Raven Lounge a little bit more. Shout out the Raven Lounge, of course. Yeah, we started performing at the Raven Lounge, and then the boy Will kind of fell off a little bit. Deuce kind of fell off a little bit, and then it was just me and Chris. So I had it set on my mind like, yo, it's gonna be me and Chris. Like me and Chris gonna go. So more recently, as his career started to take off or whatnot, he was like, he had finally settled on it's just gonna be me and you, me and you, me and you. So as like just getting closer and closer or whatnot, he basically just became like a father figure to me. Like it wasn't even just a friendship; it was like a brotherhood of fatherhood or whatnot. Like he would help me out with life lessons and situations.
I got that from him. Talking
man.
to him about you, I got that from him.
Yeah. So and
he always brought you up. Always.
So I'm like, if you heard of Chris Cotton, you know a Bookworm. If you know a Bookworm, you know a Chris Cotton. So
always.
It's always that. So. That's why it's like I honestly don't know if I'm gonna ever find anybody else like that, man. But I ain't even looking for nobody else like that, man, because it's just like he put so much into me, yo. He put so much into me, so now I'm at a point where it's like sometimes I feel like I don't even want to make music no more. I feel uninspired sometimes. That's what I get from it. Like it's not that I don't want to do it. I'm just uninspired in the moment. So I get those moments. I'm like, I'm uninspired. I don't want to do this no more and this and that. And I think Chris was like, damn, yo, he just did all this work for me. I can't just.
Oh yeah, you can't let that go. And you got too much talent, and you're a creative and artistic person. You got to get it out there for the people. Yeah. But like what you said is important. You might not never get another person like that in your life to that capacity, but you had it. And you said he became like a father or a big brother to you, but he also did that through supporting your creativity, which is something that a lot of fathers and big brothers don't get to do for their little brothers and their sons. Like that's a relationship that's super special, that you had somebody that was in the business, that was trying to teach you the business and introduce you to people in the business, that actually took you personal and cared about you personally for a few years of your life, like a considerate chunk of your life, because you're still a young man.
That's why, man. Yeah.
And you're never going to forget the stuff Chris said, because Chris is emphatic, he's energetic, he's well spoken. So he's gonna get his point across to
Hell
you.
yeah.
You gotta hear
Hell
it.
Yeah. What?
You know what I mean? And he got a book out too, man. What was it? Words from My Father?
Yes, sir.
Check out that.
It's
Definitely.
in my car. I should have brought it out.
I got it in a book bag, man. I ain't never took it out. But it's just dope that you had that. Like, don't look at it like as much as down as the positive out of that. You know what I mean? Is
Look,
that you had it.
It's Flake Man forever.
You got it tatted.
The way.
Yo, my God, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's dope, Saf.
So I'm always interested in like the beginnings of not only just artists but just people in general when they find what they're good at, or when they find their niche, or they find what they're looking for. So when were you? It's interesting that you rap to the snare. How were you introduced to the snare?
To the snare. So my grandma had a drill team.
See?
Yeah, she had a drill team, Conestoga drill team or whatnot.
Oh yeah, I know about Conestoga.
Yeah. So I used to play the snare. Actually, I started off on a bass or whatnot, and then I looked up to my uncle. He played the snare or whatnot. So that's how I got into the snare. Did that to about 9.
So wait, I was about to say, well, if you said till about 9, what age did you start?
I was young, like really, really young. Like,
you was one of them little boys I used to see that was like 3 or 4 and then going to walk out in the joint.
If you remember, you probably seen me.
Because it was like the Showstoppers, it was Conestoga, it was a lot of them teams down there. Yep. I remember.
So if you remember, like back then, probably like in like the mid 2000s, like 2005 or so, or something like that. Like you see me, just a little small kid playing this big behind snare or whatnot. So that's where I started, and then when I got in 8th grade, Lil Wayne actually inspired me. Lil Wayne did. I forget what song it was, but I know he was standing in front of the red Bugatti with Birdman and whatnot. But that inspired me. So in 8th grade, that's when I started actually writing music. So I was lying to my classmates. I was like, I know Lil Wayne and whatnot. I was sending him my verses and whatnot. He was edited and whatnot. But that's how. That's how I got into the.
That's
rapping.
husky.
Definitely husky.
Yeah, so
the ambition of it all, I love it.
I ain't never do that again. though. I ain't never say like I know Kendrick and none of that. So
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I got to the rapping thing though.
Okay. Did you do like talent shows? Like, how did you showcase your art?
Honestly, I probably did like a few open mics in high school. High school, that was it. And then when I got to college, they had talent shows. I did probably a couple of talent shows. That was it. And I didn't really start performing until Chris. Chris had a really huge effect on who I am right now. So I didn't really get to perform until he took me to the open mic, and then boom, he took me on tour. And then, but like as the tour was going, it was like as the tour was progressing, I was like digressing at the same time, because like you can see like in the beginning of the tour, I was, the energy was up there. Then towards the end, I was like going through things with the girl I was with and whatnot, so my energy started dying down.
Yeah.
So now my energy is there because I know what I have nowadays. Like I know what the people are hearing, what they enjoy and stuff like that. So now at this point, I did a documentary about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Premiered that out in Seattle. I did a show out in Seattle.
Corona.
Pause, not dry.
Yo. But yeah, I came back. I got a little bit of fan base out there in Seattle. I went down to North Carolina, got on radio station a little bit. Came back up here, got on Chris radio station. Freestyled on there. That's the first time when I heard I got 1,000 flows from Chris. He was, God damn, he got 1,000 flows. Keep going. But, oh yeah, I keep telling everybody that. I just recently did this open mic called Rinse Do or whatnot. Up at Bourbon and Branch, first Tuesday every month. I got on stage. I didn't know what kind of situation it was going to be. I didn't know if the DJ did tracks or it was just all band. So I asked the DJ if he did tracks. He said no tracks, so it was all band. So I had to reconstruct what I had planned or whatnot. So I just went up to the band, told them I'm gonna start like this, and then y'all just fill in. So I started it, did the verse. They started filling in. So you know how the intro to a song sound and whatnot. So that's how it was sounding. So the intro was kind of throwing me off from the original drum I was doing. So I was like, all right, boom, catch it, boom. Then go back in and whatnot. So I went back in. I told the dude, I'm not getting off this mic till you come take it from me, yo. I'm gonna keep going until you take it from me, yo. So he literally had to like pull the mic out of my hand, yo. So I don't know. I blame that on Chris, man, because just keep rapping, don't stop.
Right.
Keep swimming.
Keep. I say that all the time, yo. I say that all the time.
If you snapping and if they with you, but then it's still an art to know when to stop.
We talked about that recently.
You know what I mean? There's always an art to know when to cut it and when to,
That's why, like, honestly, people would give me like 10-minute sets, like 8 to 10 minutes. I like to go 4 to 5 just to give you something like fresh, and then you want some more later on. You just have to wait till the next show to get some more. I don't like to be on stage way too long until
We're out. You're welcome.
Yeah. So people get bored of it.
You give me 8 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna probably do 6 songs. I'm in and out of all them joints. Verse, hook, bounce. Verse, hook, bounce. Verse, hook, bounce. Hook, verse, bounce. Like, I'm going in and out. We gonna go through a little melody real quick. I'm gonna get the fuck
right.
Get the fuck out of
here. Right. So it's definitely understandable when you lose someone that's close to you and a mentor and a father figure. How I feel like showcasing the rest of the world what you have and what he prepared for you would do him the biggest honor. How do you plan? Because you said lately you've been kind of feeling uninspired. How do you try to get there, or how do you maintain that spark, or how do you think you can get that spark back?
Basically, getting that spark back is basically going out and seeing through things and experiencing new things. My son, just seeing what I gotta do for him, like it's like, and generations ahead motivate me. So what really motivates me is like, if I don't make this, I want generations 100 years from now to be like, yo, if he didn't make this move, then we wouldn't be in this position right now. Right. So like that's what motivates me to keep it pushing.
Legacy, man. I've been talking about legacy a lot lately because I'm getting up there, and a lot of my homies' kids is damn near grown, and it's like when you really look at it, like it ain't about us no more at all. Like not even a little bit, because college tuition and weddings and stuff is coming up. Like it's real for a lot of my homies, and we the same age. So I just look at it like, man, you got to worry about what you leaving. Yeah, and being able to do that stuff. Yeah,
something that hit me though was that you said that you want the older generation is somebody that you look up to, or that they've been influential, and also that you want to leave a legacy of 100 years from now. And that sits well with me because a lot of people tend to say to the younger generation, they're not paying attention, or they don't care about anything. So the fact that you are paying attention and also wanting to leave your mark, really is impressive.
Yeah. So now you gotta be tested. Matter of fact, before we test you, who did Chris recommend you listen to?
Big Crit. Chris, that's my
Love
main.
That's the show I met Chris at.
Yo, that's my main show.
That is the show I met Chris at. I met Chris Cotton at the Big Crit show here.
I was supposed to go with him, but my work schedule.
It's understood.
Right before Chris passed, we was at the show with him and made him take the picture with Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kay actually made it happen.
I remember when it was happened.
Hilarious.
Yes.
Like we was all together the whole show. It was me, him, and the other guy, the short guy with the beard, brown skin guy, always right, comedian too.
Yeah.
Real cool boy. But we was hanging all night, and that was actually the night that I told Chris I needed some advice, because I had a lot of things coming my way, a lot of opportunities, and you can't do everything. And always say, you can't focus all the energy. You gonna lose something in between. So I needed his advice on how to prioritize.
Right.
And he said, all right, well, call me tomorrow. And I called him the next day, and he came over early evening and sat with me and chopped it up with me. And nobody does that, bro. He was there the next day. We was out wasted, and he was at work and running around, do whatever he had to do during the daytime, and he made it through. And we chopped it for a couple hours, and he told me some good things. But it's crazy because that's like the last memories I have of him, which is 2 great ones, because it was the love that he always had, and which is why he was able to do what he was able to do for you, because he supports people.
Studio, bro. He built me a studio.
Yeah, he built you a studio. I was in there. Chris
That's crazy.
Chris ain't know how to do much more than load and save, and he had a studio just for this guy.
What? He was like, I'm gonna learn it. I don't care. I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna figure it out.
But you knew most of that stuff.
Yeah, I already knew. I like engineer my own vocals and stuff like that, so I already knew it. So he was just like, he just gave it to me. He was like, go ahead, run with it. Gave me the key to the studio and everything. Just run with it.
How did you start doing that self-engineering? Like, how did you get into that? I mean, that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily tap into.
So my mentor in high school, his name Danny Bryant. He had I was in an IT program or whatnot, so it was like a summer program. we ended up the high school gave us laptops, so he ended up giving us the big laptops. We wasn't even supposed to get those, but we got the big laptops. So he had uploaded all the Adobes and stuff like that. So I had Adobe Audition on there.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I want to record because my dad he actually he has all the studio equipment and stuff like that. But he don't I don't really use it or whatnot. But
Right.
but in my dad's studio stuff, that's how I was introduced to like studio equipment and stuff like that. So when I seen the Adobe was on there, I was like, all right, let me learn this or whatnot. So I started recording myself. And then after I started recording myself, I'm like, I'm going to have to learn how to mix and master and stuff like that. So I just went on YouTube and figured out the presets and stuff like that. After I figured out the presets, I started doing the things off my own ear and stuff like that. So now it's just like.
This all goes back to being a 3-year-old with a bass drum. Mm-hmm. Everything he say go back to being 2 years old, walking around with if you really listen to
his environment. It's all about your surroundings because you were surrounded by music since you were born.
Because my grandfather, he played the guitar. He used to play in a band around the city and everything like that. See? So it's just his legacy. Yeah, just his legacy. And now I'm trying to.
I'm pretty sure that your family knows my family too, because y'all West Philly all the way. Yeah. You can't really miss my family. All the Rice's barbershops, that's us. Yeah. So we be around. But so your grandfather probably knows my father, if I'm doing the math right, because my father is in his 70s. So yeah. Oh. That's dope though that everything goes back, because it goes to what you say about your son, and you see that he has an ear and that he has a knack for music and stuff like that. So you're trying to put him in environments where he can broaden that and where he can see his options with that. Right. And he had a grandma that said, look, this is what we doing, and he liked it. Hopefully, you know what I mean? And then it grew into a thing where it was like, well, y'all had me on this, but that looks cooler, so I'm going to do that.
I'm going to do that.
And that's fine.
Right. But it was the introduction of it on the exposure.
Right. But you know what? Like seeing the rapping, what didn't inspire me was the crowd, and the matter of fact, the crowd inspired me. It wasn't the money and the jewelry and stuff like that. It was just the creativity of the
art itself.
Yeah,
but
that's what, like, because I draw everything like that too. So it's just the art. So
you're just creative. You're very creative.
I do too much.
You doing 8 different things that you're not calling businesses. So clearly you just like to figure stuff out for yourself.
Right. That's what it was really impressive when he said I started doing my own masters. Because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people rely on engineers.
Honestly, I didn't want to pay for it.
I do.
Mix it.
I do.
I want to pay for it.
I'm gonna be honest. Like with music, it's the same way that I am with cars and things around the house. Like I pay people so that if it's not right, I don't have to complain to me. I paid you for a service, fix it. Like I paid just to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry, I can't. And I plan on actually getting the laptops on another one because I break computers and phones. Y'all know that. But and learning how to shout out to Ace the Chemist. He actually taught me how to make a beat.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna start twiddling with that.
Oh yeah, because I need some.
And some other things. But just in my spare time and on these flights we about to have to be on all the time, I need something to do. Because it's looking like a very flightful year. And speaking of flights,
email about the
speaking of flights, my guy, man, we was on our way to New Orleans, and this line was crazy, and we had the TSA pup.
Yeah.
And
he like yeah.
All I hear is Mr. Malone. Sam Malone. I'm like, huh? Sammie. I'm like, huh? And it's him. And he like, yo, let me see something. He go to the front. And then he like, come here. I'm like, come where? He like, all the way up here. We walk all the way to the front. We the next people in line.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I pushed them in front of the line.
Pushed us to the very front of the line. I was like, oh, this is
and
my guy.
People.
I didn't even know he worked there.
Yeah. Right.
But the thing was, like, he genuinely always been a good dude. So it wasn't no surprise that he looked out. But it's just like, if I'd have known, I'd have bought him lunch or something with me. Like, oh, there you go. Take that with you.
Right.
Man, even if we wasn't as
it's
close,
worth it.
Even if we wasn't as close, though, and I just seen him at a show somewhere and he looked familiar, I would have, oh, you going to the front. I ain't about to let you wait in this
No,
line.
but that's love. But it's crazy because after I realized he was saying me, I realized he said my name 3 different ways, trying to get my attention. Like, he was walking from back there like, Mr. Malone, Sam Malone, Sammie. Oh, my God. Okay, that's Bookworm.
Right.
Like, yeah, so that was dope, man. Definitely appreciate you for that.
For sure.
But you doing bigger and better things. I know we can't give everything up, but you got a Seattle trip coming to you soon.
Yes, sir, and I cannot wait for it.
What can you tell us about that you could give up? Shout out situation.
Yeah, so let me shout out my man Camiardo, because we actually, bro,
Cañardo.
Yeah, Cañar.
I love that name. That's dope.
What ethnicity is Cañardo? That's dope as hell.
Is he Spanish?
Caucasian.
Caucasian?
Yeah, he might have some more mixed in him, but I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dope name, though.
Yeah, it is.
Dope name.
He's an artist. He's an artist. He draws and everything like that. He films and records and stuff like that. So he came here to film my documentary. But get this, we probably met about 6 years ago in the Dominican Republic doing just doing community service. I got on that trip from having good grades from high school, whatnot, doing summer search and stuff like that. So we met 6 years ago. We was like, boom, when we get to meet, we gonna create, we gonna do something. So that last summer that we filmed the documentary, he was in New York for Thanksgiving. It was like, boom, I'm in New York. I might as well come to Philly. We can do this and do that. So he came. He stayed for like 3 days.
Because New York to Philly for somebody from the West Coast is nothing.
Right.
It's nothing.
It take you 2 hours to get everywhere.
And he was traveling. He was already traveling all over the place that summer. So he came and we did that. So now we done premiered it now. I got a little fan base out there. So now this next trip, he got studio sessions set up for me, performances set up for me. We gonna film a couple of videos and stuff. He wants to do the album there. So I'm not too sure on the album because I feel as though our album is like really, really deep and personal. Like it's really.
It depends. If
like
that's what you wanted to be.
I want my album to be like really, really like constructed, like really. I don't know.
I think your album should be. I think your album should just be super versatile.
Yeah. Honestly, people saying because I just dropped Reevaluate. Not to forget to mention that I have like 6 projects out right now. The last one is Reevaluate, and people feel like that's an album. I feel like that's like a mixtape.
See what I'm saying? But that's and nowadays it is whatever the hell you call it.
I was about to say
because
that.
it's going to get distributed the same way. You're going to put whatever price you want based on how you value it. But the reason that I say that I just think yours should be eclectic is because you're more than a rapper. You're a musician.
Yeah.
And you can adapt to different sounds and bands and tempos and paces and things like that.
Bro, my mom just bought a piano in my house. If I learn the piano, it is dangerous for the industry.
I bet it is. And guess what? I bet you are going to learn the piano and industry is about to be dangerous.
We're going to be
you hear me?
Anderson Paak or somebody.
You feel me?
Anderson Paak. We're going to be like, yo, what's going on?
Yo, I'm going to
do
snap,
that.
Cause I'm going to snap if I do it. I am. Like, I'm not an if, it's when I learn it.
Exactly. We already know. From all of your other
read
stories,
music?
we already know.
I have to be refreshed on it, honestly, yeah. I've learned it before.
Me too. I used to know how to read it.
Yeah, so.
I
never did, but I wanna
actually
learn.
played piano when I was a kid. And I played piano when they could damn near torture you. Like, like you know, I used to get spanked in school.
Oh, yeah,
That's how
yeah,
piano
yeah,
was.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if you don't have your fingers,
Yeah.
they'll pop your fingers.
Yeah.
Like, with the ruler, like, that hurts.
Oh, they made you.
Oh, I
Or
definitely
like-
used to get hit with yardsticks in school.
They had the joint where they would put, like, pennies across your knuckles,
Mhm.
and they can't fall off, but you still...
Oh, shoot. Oh, hell no.
Bro, it was like...
Is that why piano players always?
That's why
their hands
pianists-
are always so.
yes.
Their fingers are like
Classically trained pianists, you
wow.
never see anything other than...
their
flat.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, just their fingers moving. You don't see
Yeah.
You
like.
don't see no
Like-
wrist, nothing, none of that. Now, people that self-taught, you can see the difference because they just
Right,
flex. And
right.
and
And
it's
you're
a
right.
whole
You
lot
see
of-
the whole. You're
but when
right.
we talk about classically trained pianists,
You're
they
right.
come from the Stone Ages of like, and I mean, there's a reason for all of this, but at the same time, when you a kid, it is like, well, I could be playing baseball. Like,
And so I'm a dancer, and I can definitely attribute that to dancers, like dancers that are formally trained versus dancers
Oh,
who are
absolutely.
street dancers. Like there's so much difference in presentation
you know, I know
that
the
you do
difference.
and don't do that I see now. It's just like I can
can't-
definitely tell the
I
difference.
can imagine the punishment from like formally dancing.
Yeah, I went to Philadelphia. Like they did not play.
And my
at all.
sister was
Miss
big
Jenkins.
at La Share Tyree with Miss Jenkins,
Mhm.
and my sister's a hell of a choreographer, and it's crazy because we go to shows all the time where I watch.
And she's sitting there
videos.
critiquing it, isn't she? 'Cause I know
I
I
be
do.
critiquing it because I know what it.
I mean, I'm talking about like lines. I'm
And it's
talking
just
about
bad
like
because it's like, yo, they should just hire
structure,
my sister.
even your face, like just certain
Like,
things.
I really feel like I'm about to start her a business because it's bad out here. You think if you get 2-3 thick chicks or good looking girls dancing
Yeah.
behind you that's cute, and it's not
not.
a routine. And it's sad because when you have, like you say, classically trained dancers or dancers that have really good eyes.
Eyes, like I said, it's about your lines,
don't
it's about your
need-
spacing,
they
it's about
don't
your timing,
need
it's about
80
everything.
rehearsals
The
to get
technique.
the routine for your 1 or 2 songs. They just need to know what the routine is. They'll practice on their own time. They'll get back together, and by the 3rd time, it'll be soup.
Yo, I used to tap, and when I tapped, it would be 30 to 50, however many if it was. But we wasn't done until it sounded like one person tapping. You couldn't hear
That's how
another.
tap
Nah,
was when
it
I
had
took
to
it.
be one person sound like one. I don't want to hear extra slap or extra nothing. No, let's go.
Which is crazy
So.
when you try to teach a bunch of babies kickball change.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like, you think the heel toe.
Yo.
Like, trying to teach kids kickball change on the same timing is amazing. I give it up to teachers.
Right.
Once again, coaches, dance instructors,
Yo.
music instructors.
Yeah, speaking of coaching,
and they
real
affect
quick,
so
right?
many kids. It's their job too. So it's dope.
Real quick, I'm definitely trying to get my son into music as well. I was trying to debate between if I think I'm gonna start him off with piano though. I do think I'm gonna start him off with piano. But it's interesting you said that because I took him to the track with me yesterday. I like to run, and I'm preparing for the Broad Street run. If they have it, everything's being canceled. But if they have the Broad Street run,
crowd.
I'm good with that. I don't know all them people anyway, and I run by myself. I run by myself any other time. But it's so interesting because it was this old man on the track, right? And my son just kept going from like lane 1 to 4, and he about to trip this old man. And somebody else was a coach, and he was like, "When it's kids that age, the only thing I'm trying to teach them is to run straight." Because the whole time I'm like, "Run straight, stay in lane 3." So it was just so interesting.
He's still like running is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm running.
I came home today. He's like, "Mom, can we go to the track?" I'm like, "I'm going Uncle."
I got a little history.
Yeah, you gotta take him though.
I ran track.
Oh, we going tomorrow. I was here today.
You look like a track runner.
You do.
So I ran track until high school, right? So I had to do the long distance. So
that's what I like to do.
With me having to do a long distance, they made me run cross country, and
I love cross country. I love it.
So we had indoor track. I remember we was in the indoor track meet.
Can you hear him?
Yeah. Check.
All right, because his mic was kind of far.
No closer.
That's good.
Go ahead.
All right, so we did a indoor track meet. So I was standing at the line. I'm just sitting here like, how the fuck did I end up here, yo? I don't even like being fatigued. Like, how did I end up here?
I don't even like being fatigued.
Like, the gunshot and boom, there I went, and it was like, yo, like you're not even supposed to sprint on like a 4x8, but I sprinted and went because I'm trying to get this over with.
You trying to get out, in and out.
Not even.
It was like I think it was like 2 minutes and 18 seconds or something like that. Just gone.
And
I'm
trying to
like,
sprint the whole pup.
Bro, I was trying to get out of there. I was trying to get done with that.
Did you get winded after the third one?
I'm not too sure. I don't remember because I know nowadays like.
You remember the feeling? You was like, look, I just was not trying to be there.
I was just not trying to do that. So I know nowadays I'm thankful for it because nowadays I'll sprint anywhere, I'll run anywhere, and I'm really good with my breathing and stuff like that. Even like down to my music, I'm like that. Them sports.
That's where that breathing
like
comes
that,
from.
On stage.
I'm like that's why my breathing is so great because of the
My biggest problem is in the
sports.
booth with breathing because I'm doing so much. I'm drinking, I'm smoking. Anyway, but
and with all the energy, because then you focus. So yeah.
That's how in the studio I'm more chill in the
Adrenaline is a
studio.
motherfucker too. But one thing about track that just never got me, I never wanted to prepare for so long to just run for a short period of time and that's it.
Right.
Like it was like just run real fast, stop, sit there.
That's why I like cross country.
I used to go to track meets
country
because like I got my dad's homies, other people, they used to be at my basketball games and stuff and baseball games. Like, you should run track and this, that, and the third. And my dad used to be like, you know, you can run for this club, you can run for this team. And I was like, I don't really see the point in standing in the sun all day. Like, it's different nowadays. I went to a track meet recently. Shout out to Shad, which is something I was going to speak on earlier. I'll get back to that. Shad. But he was around the corner from my mom's crib at his nephew John, and I slid around there. And the parents got tents, the kids got tablets. Yeah, it's all type of coolers that's decent, and it's different
than
what we were. It's so crazy. Like, cause when we was coming up, the kids used to be getting in trouble the whole time because they be running around on the side, restless. Now they sitting there playing on their tablets about 5-10 minutes before they stretch and then get ready for.
I be mad at that field though.
It's different now.
I be mad at that field though because the neighborhood can't use the field. Like, if you not a part of one of those activities, they got that joint locked.
Oh wow.
Well,
and I be mad.
A lot of stuff happened in there.
I can imagine. So, but I be mad because I like to run. I'm like, I'm here at like 8
jump,
o'clock in the morning.
And it's a nice pub.
It's very nice.
It's a nice pub.
It's very nice.
But what I was about to say about Shad earlier, is really a shout out to his mom. When you was probably in the DR, it was probably around the time that they was in Haiti trying to build clinics. And like, I respect people that volunteer their time to go to these other countries and do that work, even if it was a program that you qualified for through school. You didn't have to go. Right. And I've never had that opportunity. Maybe some point in life, if I'm still physically healthy enough to help somebody, I'll be able to do it. But like, I always admire that. I want to hear about that. Like, what's that experience like when you in high school?
Yeah. So like going down there, basically
and what was y'all doing?
Right.
No, it's crazy because it's crazy how they set them programs up. and then they had you with these people for 4 weeks, and then y'all gotta leave after the 4th week.
And you done got all cool with them.
Close to these people, and now they going all over the United States, and you can't ever see these people again. It's like, man, what the hell, like. But, yeah,
I got experiences like that. He did. I got experiences like that.
It's like you meet so many people. I done met somebody from like the Middle East. So it's like she live in the Middle East. I get to see the stuff from her view, from the things that's going on over there. So it's like, damn, like I feel for those people because I feel for her for being over there and going through that. But she's here in America, went through college and everything like that.
Thriving, but she still has family there, I'm sure.
Yeah, still got family over there. So it's like, damn, like I get to see the politics of that side from that. But,
which is a beautiful aspect to have as a young man growing up in this world that makes you want to see
from West Philly.
Yeah,
like you went like from West Philly, like people who don't utilize the resources they have, they would have never have been able to see that.
I feel like
not only the travel, all the programs and all the things that you said you were a part of, like summer programs, the IT program, the going to Haiti. Like a lot of people may not even know about
even
that.
Them drill teams, because I don't know if y'all know, in Philly drill
teams was heavy.
They
what?
They
heavy. You hear me? They're heavy. So a lot of people may not even have those resources or access to it, or even realize that they are right there because you came from West Philly. It's not like you came from King of Prussia or somewhere else. Like they were right there for you. You just got to use it. You know what I mean?
It's right there in front of you. You just gotta open your eyes, see it.
And you know what? Being as though, and you got another responsibility, and I'm going to put this on you. Being as though you benefited from those things, you have to check back and make sure that they exist, and if not, find a way to fill in some gaps. And if you need help with that, reach out to us.
I'm definitely here for that. That's my whole mission is about
positivity. Let's make sure that these programs exist, because we always credit our elementary and middle school for our development, but that school's not there anymore.
It's not.
So she couldn't put her kids in that school that she dreamed of putting her children through. So now when we talk about it and we reflect on it, she talks about programs that existed, like rites of passage that we had for the young men. 7th and 8th grade, you had to go. It was like an elective, but it was mandatory.
Right. It was like weekly. Y'all went.
Yeah, and we would go in there. And men would come in from businesses and they would talk to us. They would teach us things. We would learn everything from tying the tie to the fact that there are black men chefs out here that can make stuff that's cool. You know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff that you need to see.
Like I wish I'm trying to find programs like that. Hey, anybody got a rites of passage for some young black men? Holla at us.
We need to find a way to either tap into who's doing that and making sure that it's more either a bigger program so that it can reach more people, or that we bring more awareness to it, or we need to create such programs because we know positive men and women. But no, like I said, like they used to have birthday parties at Pizza Hut.
I was just saying that.
People used to take dates to Pizza Hut.
But hold up, Pizza Hut and Burger King. Pause. Burger King, everybody used to be happy to get them little crowns.
The crown for your birthday, yeah.
I just said that last week. Like, yo, kids is like a little bougie. Like, you let a kid have a party at Burger King these days.
But why none of the fast food places got play gyms no more? Not like the playground.
No, I take my kids.
Chick-fil-A got the little indoor gym.
Burger King, Eastern Road. I take my kids. No, it's a brand new one.
Yeah, but they always had one.
But they did, and that's where my kids be. Hey, we going here? I be like, yes.
Go
the
burn
cheapest date ever.
That's like the McDonald's on 69th Street used to have a little.
They did upstairs. They did
absolutely,
upstairs.
and they joint was legendary.
Yeah.
It was, and it was big too. Like, that's what
you can see it from the whole pub.
And 52nd Street. Anybody remember 52nd and Chestnut Street though? 52nd and Chestnut.
They had one there.
Yes, they did.
I don't remember. Oh, they did in the front.
Yes, they did. And I used to be like, the hamburger is coming.
Damn, I think I remember it too. Dang.
I was about to say I don't. It was in the front.
Yes. They definitely did.
On 52nd Street. I know what you're talking about. That's crazy, though, because that used to be the best joint. The hamburger.
Yep.
the joint.
Where you be like a little jail type joint. Like.
Yeah.
Yo, man.
Oh, shit.
Memories.
Yeah. I see why they got rid of the balls. Like, it's too many germs and stuff. Like,
can you imagine now?
You remember 69th Street, though.
I do remember 69th Street.
Keep saying that.
69th Street.
I do remember 69th Street.
No, 69th. It's funny because when I was a kid, it was like, yo, it's pizza. You know, they said a slice spot.
Right across you from the movies.
In the sneaker store.
Yeah.
So me with my aunt, good
and
day
Sears,
for me.
Paul, Sears was,
we go to movies, I'm getting some pizza.
Yeah.
Sears was a department store up 69th Street, the only department store.
With all the levels. But then when I got older, 69th Street changed because my dad was like, now if you're driving out that way, you know they don't like us out there. Like everything changed when I became a teenager. Like it wasn't that fun street anymore.
It was real.
Like, it got real. And that's Philly though, man. Even though that's right outside of Philly, that's literally how quick shit changed from being a kid to having responsibility.
Yeah, growing up,
like,
right.
Yeah, so where you going tonight? We going to a party at the Post out 69th Street.
Right.
Right behind 69th.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, they don't like us.
Right. I'm happy to see though that a lot of some of the places that I know we probably grew up with are returning, like the movie theater of 69th Street, and then it was gone for like 10, 15 years, and now it's back. It's different.
They redid it,
but they are definitely redeveloping 69th Street. Even Broad and CCB Moore, they got the AMC there. Like there was North Philly. It was never a theater there.
You know why you guys salute 69th too? They're letting independent
stores go in. They are.
They let independent movie producers put their stuff on that screen.
Right.
But hold up, shout out to North Philly and Temple, because I want to say that I was a part of the voting process for the AMC, the Pearl theaters that said Broad and CCB Moore. Yeah. When I was in school, we had to actually vote on what they wanted to do with that space, and I voted on the theater. I'm sure a lot of us did, but that was like unprecedented. I feel like when did they ask a college student like, what do you want here?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And you see what's crazy? That's the difference between Temple and my black university, Morgan State.
Definitely
University.
is. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Because when I was at Morgan, they gave every college in Maryland money from the state, from the government, right? Except ours. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy because you talking about Loyola, you talking about Goucher,
Eastern Shore
you
Pride.
talking about motherfuckers that don't need money, like like at all. We got the same libraries from 100 years ago. You can't even get the lights bright in this bitch,
right?
Like that kind of shit. Like you just go to the library from what I heard, to get smutty. Like it wasn't no work getting done in the library.
Oh wow!
So when it came down that like everybody Coppin State, everybody got money except us. We all went to the Capitol. We protested out there. We held hands in the middle of the Capitol in front of the city hall. I made the front news of their paper. It was Alexandria, Maryland.
I don't know. I'm not from down there.
I made the front news of their paper because it's like some dumb shit. Like it's so many of us because it was so many of us went down there that they canceled classes. Yeah. So we holding hands. I'm standing once again. Shout out to Shad. I'm holding Shad hand, and Shad, number 2 Haitian, my guy. He motherfucking number 2 was behind Wyclef. But all I feel is Shad hand move. So I look, he's elbowing this guy that's trying to break the chain. So when they caught the picture, it's Shad elbowing him and me looking at him like this.
Crazy.
The worst way because we was out there for good. Yeah. I made the front page of they put messing with Shad. But anyway, but we had to fight for that. And after that, now we have a new library. We have a new student center. We have all type of things on campus. So when I go to homecoming, it feels good to see that stuff.
But you know what?
I go on campus just to look at those buildings and then go to the tailgate because I don't really want the crowd.
But shout out to On the Scene magazine, because I had an article in my magazine that actually spoke to the legislation that was implemented to make sure that the funding to the HBCUs continues, because they were actually trying to take away that funding. They were trying to make sure it wasn't there anymore. So 2019, the end of 2019, I want to say, they actually implemented a legislation that makes sure that funding will not be decreased and will stay there. So
I saw that as a headline. Can't say I really read up on it, so you would be more knowledgeable, but I appreciate
On the Scene
that.
magazine, holla at me, onthescenemagazine.com.
We need that for sure because it's real. And another thing that we need that's been a big conversation lately is we need these student athletes, the top tier ones, to choose HBCUs.
Yeah.
We just need a handful of y'all to say, you know what? I'm going to go where I'm appreciated, not where I'm exploited.
Right.
And really, it'll change the whole thing. It'll change the whole surface of what's going on out here. And it's not even like people think it is. Like, there's plenty of white athletes on black college campuses.
For sure. Definitely. But that's something I always talk to you about. I mean, I felt, and there's no comparison at all, I felt almost... It's not HBCU, but I felt like I was at home because I was in the middle of North Philly, right?
Mm-hmm. Right? I know what you mean.
Right.
But at the same time, I wish I had the enrichment of a HBCU. I always wish that I had the enrichment and I had, the time there, because the experiences that you had were completely different than the experiences that I had.
Yeah, I went through some Hillman. What's the movie called? I went through the type of shit you really see in some certain ways. But one thing that my aunt told me when I was trying to choose a college, which I probably always thought I was going to a HBCU, but she kind of reinforced it with, in a black college, they're not going to give you everything you want, but they'll make sure you have everything you need. And she meant as a community.
Right.
She meant as like living dorm room to dorm room, apartment to apartment. Like we might not be able to have steak parties with champagne, but I'm not gonna let you starve.
Right.
I'm gonna wake you up, make sure you make that class. I'm gonna make sure that you get home safe. Like they always make sure like there's a real different sense of community, partially because it's a smaller campus, so you know everybody you should know, but at the same time because a lot of us come from the same places and we face the same dangers and we care about the same things. Like I could buy a loaf of bread, peanut butter and jelly and some noodles, and me and you could eat all week.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? As opposed to me being like, man, I'm trying to eat out every night.
Boy, what?
You know how many pizzas I ordered in college? They was 2 medium, 1 to 2 topping pizzas for $6.99. We used to split them. 3 motherfuckers would be ordering that shit.
Yeah, I had a meal plan. I didn't even stay on campus. I had the carte blanche meal plan. I didn't even stay on campus.
That's
that
what's
was just
crazy.
Weird.
The calf closed.
Weird.
The calf used to close at
like midnight?
7.
No,
I didn't go to a white college.
Shit.
Our joint closed at like 7.
Yeah,
our joint closed at
and when
midnight.
you want to play ball, the gym open at 7. The gym open 7 to 9. So then you go hoop till 9.
But then
you get
you're
out
hungry
the
after that,
shower
you done.
9:30.
You hungry? Yeah.
And you're not catching breakfast before class tomorrow.
Damn, you done
like
fucking
it's
ran
not
off
going to
that.
happen. Like
Yeah.
I don't got no 8 o'clock. I'm not going to be up when breakfast. Like it's not going down. So like we ate so much pizza, but at the same time you wind up sharing it all the time.
Yeah.
Because you know like he ain't got it. And when he come back, when he go home and do
Or
whatever
you're not gonna really eat all this right now anyway.
Yeah,
Well,
with the Ninja
shit.
Turtles.
Well, you a grown ass man. I'm sorry.
back them 19,
You know how I eat. I eat
20,
like a
21
bird.
years old after hooping.
I'm 1 or 2
try to
slices.
dunk with everybody.
That's it.
It was different.
Yeah, I can tell you that.
Nowadays, I got more time to drink than I did back then. So I don't eat as much. But
Silly.
I hate to sound horrible, but it's factual.
Factual,
But no, that's
factual.
that's what my aunt told me before I went. She said, as far
Hazel?
as the community, yeah, Hazel, rest in peace of my Hazel. We just buried Hazel in January. But she told me that. She said something about it. She went to Cheney. My dad went to Cheney. My dad went to Nebraska first.
Really?
Was one of 4 black
I was
people
gonna
on
say 2.
campus, and was the only one that wasn't an athlete.
Yeah.
And then he came home and went to Cheney, and they had the barbershops and stuff. And yeah,
That was a tremendous change of environment.
in those days.
Right.
My dad's 73 years old.
All 3 of them.
That's what I mean.
Coming
I
from
had
West
to do
Philly,
shit
right?
back then.
Coming from West Philly, going to Nebraska, you like, oh shit. But then going to Cheney and getting the enrichment that you get from there, it was like you see all the environments that he just was a part of, and like,
Yeah.
And mind
in a
you,
short
talking
period?
about somebody that was raised in the ghetto,
and this was the '60s.
and raised in a black barbershop. So it's just like
You gotta
what
think about
he
the
saw
heightened
before he went to
period, too.
college.
That's what I mean. Them civil rights
Was
and all
That's what I'm
every
saying. That
part
time
of it.
period.
dealing with
See, every
ancestors
part
that
of
just
it.
got out of slavery and stuff like. Boy.
You don't understand,
We
like,
could, like we was barely able to vote then, like crazy.
but that's why sometimes, like, when people ask me, we get into conversations about grandparents, and I always say, like, in my eyes, my grandfather was like Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
based on what he did for his people around him.
And so was mine.
He didn't have the platform that King had, but he put people through college off of nothing.
Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
did.
He fed people's kids in the back of the barbershop
Yeah.
with nobody knowing, got them soup, got them tuna fish, whatever he could do to make sure that they could get through. And that's so important. And these are stories that we didn't hear until he died.
Right.
You hear certain things. You hear stuff all the time. But like my grandmom didn't know about some of the people that he helped get through college.
Oh, shoot.
But they was family members, and he was just sending money down south.
Yeah.
And that's what it was
that's
back
what it
then.
was.
It's like when you come from Jamaica, you send money back home. So he was just doing that for whatever it was. So when we used to go to family reunions, we used to be like rock stars, and we didn't know why. You know what I mean? My uncle and my dad are very charismatic and very personable people, but it was like they looked at us like different because of like my grandfather's legacy.
Right.
Back to legacy. So like when I say like looking at his picture on the wall feel the same for me as when I look at Martin, because I know what he did for people that touch me and that make sure I'm good.
Right.
People that I ain't know my whole life make sure, oh, that's Lil Rice. Get him. You know what I mean? That happens. That happens. But she's a great legacy from what she does in media. You have a great legacy from music and whatever else. But we just touched on music from about 8 different people in your family. Started with grandma. How did grandma get a drill team?
Bro, I don't even know, yo.
She just felt like helping. Or was she a stepper? Like, let me find out. Grandma was out there stepping.
That's why I know it was just cause she was stepping with the steppers.
Oh,
yeah, she was. But
Grandma was lit.
I know it was just like just to help the community, get the kids out the streets or whatnot. Cause it's real violent and stuff like that back then.
Absolutely.
So she was trying to get the kids off the streets and stuff like that. So that's basically what it was.
Do they still have drill teams? I haven't seen them in a while.
They do.
They do. It's not as many.
Yeah.
Bro, they have drill teams, but the drill team world is like, I don't want to be in it. That's all I would say. Like I would never do it again. Like that's it. That's all.
And I haven't seen them in a while. I want to say maybe I saw them for the Juneteenth parade last year. I think I saw them there.
My cousins are still involved with it. They still have competitions. There's a lot of drill teams still.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look into it.
And it's certain drill teams.
I have a girlfriend that has a team. You're right.
When they have the big parades, there's a couple drill teams involved.
Yep.
And when they have block parties, depending on the neighborhood, you still get drill teams. There's still that part when the DJ gotta chill.
Right.
And we gotta let the kids do their thing, and they usually tear it up. I'm gonna be honest.
I gotta say something, like, cause with the drill team thing, I'm like, my grandma had it for so many years, but she expanded it to as far as she could. But my little cousin right now, he went from Conestoga to the drill team called West Politan. Now West Politan, they play drums for the Sixers.
Oh, okay.
That's hard.
That's crazy.
I've seen them. I've seen them at the games.
I
have video of them.
Light skinned dude you might have a.
I don't remember who it was. I'm gonna look now for a light skinned dude.
You see my face. You gonna see his face. If we look, my family.
I've seen them. They killed that joint.
Yeah,
they killed that.
She got footage.
Yeah, I do.
But that's dope. But see, that's the thing. Like opportunities, experiences. Like you can start with something so small and then you wind up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because I saw something about the girl. Excuse me. The gymnast that did the Beyonce routine.
Yes, I can't think of her name. Yeah,
she was saying that a few years ago she had tore her not her ACL but her Achilles.
I was gonna say Achilles.
I think it was Achilles. She tore something right before the not Achilles. What is it?
I'm gonna say you pointing up here, but Achilles is here.
I don't think it was meniscus. She tore something right before.
She tore something that was
right before the Olympics.
Detrimental to her.
And she felt like
performance.
Damn, everything I've worked for, everything my parents put into me, everything I've done up to this point is for nothing. And she didn't want to do gymnastics no more. But now, fast forward 3 years or so past that, she does this one routine that goes viral.
Right.
All of her idols are reaching out to her. Opportunities are opening up for her that she might not even gotten through the Olympics.
Right.
And not saying that a shout out replaces anything, but we know the what a lot of these opportunities come from nowadays are viral moments.
Exactly, with social media,
viral moments.
For sure.
So even if it means that she could be one of the top instructors for the rest of her life, she'll get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like you never know why you get into these things, and we get disappointments. Like everybody, I didn't ever think I was going to the NBA. I'm gonna be honest. Not because I didn't think I was good enough. It just was like, it seemed so far that it was just like, I always heard everybody not gonna make it have a backup plan. And so maybe that's part of the reason I didn't go that hard at being an NBA.
Yo, that's why like.
But then when all my homies started going to the NBA and overseas and stuff like that, I started realizing I was better than some of them.
Like, even.
But I wasn't disappointed by that. I was cool with it.
Like even with me with the music, like I don't take that as like people try to tell me like make sure you have a plan B just in case it don't work and just in case it don't work. It's not no just in case. Like this shit gonna work. Like
it's gonna work.
It's gonna work. Like it's a master plan to it, and I gotta stay focused to it. It's gonna work. So like it's plan A is gonna be plan A. Plan B is gonna be plan B. But I'm gonna make it what I want to do, and then at the same time do other things that I know how to do, just to have that in the background, just to have more stuff to show for it. But I'm not going to allow that it's too hard, it's too far to get there, because it's not really too far to get there. Because I feel as though like if I come here and I fill this whole space up, I don't need the industry for that. I done made my money from all them people from there. I don't need the industry. So
absolutely, absolutely, and it's crazy because that's the best way to do it. Anyway.
I was gonna say these days a lot like in earlier days in the industry, those weren't options. So it's a blessing that we have those options that we have right now to be as independent as we are, because not too long ago people had to rely on record labels and getting raped, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I honestly like I feel as though like because I was talking to somebody the other day and it was like it's like through generational things like that and doing things and like being free-minded and stuff like that. I feel like I'm 24 right now, so I feel like my generation is probably like one of one of the first generations that's actually able to be free-minded and actually do whatever they want to do. And it's like some of us are like really, really trapped in a certain mindset, but it's some of us that's really open-minded, that's really ready to go out there. So,
well, one thing I said on here before about our generation was we were the generation that realized like maybe this working for somebody for 30 years shit ain't always to cracked out to be.
Like
and we started trying to figure out other stuff. Y'all are the first generation that's like, yo, I'm never working for y'all. Like, y'all don't give a fuck. And it's crazy because y'all came at the perfect time because y'all have access to so many online outlets. Y'all can reach the world. So if you have a good product, you could be self-sufficient in your mom's bedroom or basement until you get a mansion. Right. Like, and that's literally what goes on nowadays.
Yo, our viewers can check.
The first ones that see that.
Our viewers can check all of our episodes because in every episode, I pretty much say it's all about access and resource, and it's at your fingertips. Yep, it's definitely at your fingertips.
Right here.
Right, literally, and figuratively. But yeah, for sure.
That's word, man. And you know what? That's a good note to end on. So let them know how to find your 6 albums, how to find your documentary, where to find you at, how to book you, and where you'll be at soon.
Bro, all you gotta do to find my albums is streaming everywhere except I have a couple on SoundCloud, but Chris told me not to drop on SoundCloud anymore, so I stopped. So everything else is like iTunes, Spotify, everything. All you have to do is type in Bookworm. For Spotify specifically though, you have to type in Bookworm Reevaluate. That's the latest EP I dropped out. That'll come out there. YouTube, you can find my documentary by looking up Kamyar Mohansen. KAMYARMOHENSIN, and just type Bookworm next to it, and that'll pop up right there. And if you want to come see me perform, guaranteed, just come to Rinse Do. It's at Bourbon and Branch. First Tuesdays of the month, I will be
social media.
He said he tearing them down all year, by the way.
Taking over.
And what's your social media? Because I'm not sure if you said that.
My social media is Instagram is _.bookworm. _ and I have Facebook, Jameer David. But I'd rather you follow me on Instagram because that's where I post everything.
So. _bookworm. _.
Yep.
All right. So I am Sai. I'm in the building. You can find me at On the Scene Magazine, your favorite positive platform magazine. We have everything you want from entertainment, fashion, sports, business, everything from a positive perspective. Holla at me at onthescenemagazine.com.
And I am Sippin with Sammie. This is Sippin with Sammie. Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Get your fucking life together.
Ow.
Catch the podcast every Thursday at 4 p.m. We controlling happy hour. The next day, Fly Day, Flyboy Fly Day, at Flyboy Radio, Glocawear Radio, 4 to 6 p.m. every Fly Day, man. Best happy hour in the world, greatest station in the nation. Shout out to Font Productions, Font Films. Find her at PHANTPHILLY, and check me out at Sippin with Sammie, SippinwitSammie. And I heard I got another project coming out, so I'll let y'all know where to find that soon. Fuck it.
Peace.
What you say, I'm a king, I'm a god with a bang when the people know my name. I'm a flame going insane, I'ma change how the hood eat, let you niggas know we ain't the same. All the pain that was caused in the past, now we all dead last, looking like loose change. That was looking like it's nobody to blame. That was looking like it's nobody to blame. Man, it's a shame how we all playing this game, how we all running for fame. All of this shit is so lame, niggas ain't wanting no tame, better just keep it the same. Nigga, I'm breaking the chain, nigga, I'm feeling like Wayne, bling, bling. See this gold on my neck, I flex, ain't got much, I go say I'm beating on my text with a fucking mess. Never really know what's coming next, probably start some war, of course they probably bored. When they killed my race and swept us across the board, but they can't replace the man they call them more. Who'da taught them shit like how to scrub they pores. With a fucking bitch, they always want some more. So they took our land and slaved us to the core. Yeah, fuck the man, his sister made us poor, man. Coming up, it was rough, but this shit made me tough. When the fight don't bluff, don't. What the fuck is up? Yeah, I'm a 90s kid, and I'm with this shit, but I do my business. And I like this bit, they say I sound like Jit or Kendrick. Oh, please hop off my dick, I just sound like this. I wrote this real quick, I quit the spliff and made the twist. I changed the way I think, I'ma stick with this. I think the way I drink probably made my kid mad. Now I'm gon' fly up to the sky. Dreaming forever is never gon' die. Do any weather, I always survive cause I'm black and attached to the earth. No goodbyes if a crackhead get talking. He best get the walking cause my generation they up for discussion. Stare in the runway, they might get the bussin'. Bussin' and bussin', that ain't no discussion. Crackers on the store, bodies on the road. Niggas with no soul on the block when the weather get hot. With the rock and the cops on the clock don't stop till it got every black boy trapped in the lot, man. Oh goddamn, when it's gonna stop, man? All this evil can't be legal, man. To see through, oh man, God, we need you, man. No, damn, before we meet you, damn.